Going Bible with this. After they domesticated, these animals, I'm just using this for example, the life of that buffalo was killed forever. God had counted and numbered it from the beginning. God had made an adjustment of the life of man to compensate for this Gentile who was caused by the fallen angel. Now, this man, he had taken now and killed the buffalo. But God does not yield to the temptation of man. God will not replace that buffalo through his domesticated cow. So he began to raise this cow and sell it to the Indians here, putting them, making the Indians be under realm of his power and not the power of the God that created him. Now he created supermarkets, took the man from his habitat, killed his buffalo, let the carcass lead out there and rotted in the sun. Now he domesticating his animal, deciding that he's gonna make this animal breed, and he said this man domesticated animal. But God had counted none with all this. It doesn't matter how you take and try to spread this out, and you take and try to end and breed and say so you can make this man serve you. At the end of the day, when that number have been counted and brought to a close, where God had counted and numbered this creature before he went into earth, that creature's the chemical makeup of his body is going to break down and be diluted, like the pigmentation of that man was diluted when them angels went into him and bare children unto them. Something happened to the flesh of that person. The same way it is when you start stretching that seed that God didn't require, and he had counted it down from the beginning. When you keep stretching it and stretching and try to make it interbreed and try to bring in a calf, at the end of the day, when that seed had ran its course to the end where God had counted and numbered it, a plague would enter into that cow, and it would kill that cow, and there will be no herd in the stall. You wonder what happened? God numbered it from the foundation of the earth. The same like manner when that man, that flesh of that man, keep interbreeding with that seed of the fallen angels, and it keep diluting the pigmentation, it keep dilating the inner origin of that human flesh, that human flesh will continue to break down without the lack of the pigmentation and the components which God created and blessed from the foundation of the earth. The chemical makeup of that man will fail, and all manner of disease will come upon this man, and the soul will have to leave that body. This is where we are today in Bible prophecy. Man had went into technology and created such a dire situation and said that I could do as gods, I could create this and create that, but from God was they made, from God they was created, and from God they was numbered and counted from the foundation of the world. And he said in his words, this shall be and that shall be, and it will not exceed the limitation upon which God had planned it from the foundation of the earth. It will not succeed that point. And when that point, in that designated point in time, set forth by the God in heaven, come upon this world, then this world will perish, because everything was made by the hands of God. And by the hands of God, they will come to an end. I want to continue. Yes. Let us go on to Genesis. After Genesis, I want to read from this first. show you the land that God gave to Abraham. And then I want to refer you back to the symbols that God put forth before us to show the world. I want to begin at verse 17. Verse 12. Verse 11. Then I'm going to go back to the chart where he gave the sacrifice. And when the fowls came down upon the carcass, Abram drove them away. Verse 11, Genesis 15. 12. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall after, and shall afflict them 400 years. Listen to this. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance, crude oil. And thou shalt go to thy father in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, but the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. The Amorites was located in this area. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between these pieces. These pieces, the sacrifice of the heifer of 3 years old, the she goat of 3 years old, in the ram, passed through these pieces, and they was caught up. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Canaanites, and the Kenizites, and the Kadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites. In other words, he was telling you he's giving all of this land to the seed of Abraham, which is just like a mustard seed. Far as I can see, Libya was not excluded. It's part of the kingdom, because you go to Daniel chapter 11, it will tell you where these people would come and try to invade and take this here, because this is oil-rich country. So God gave him this land before the Gentiles even knew that they was going to need this crude oil. But they went in and tried to contaminate the seed of Jesus Christ before he was born. So this is the part here. Now, I got to change shots here in a minute, because I got to show you a part here. I can change it right now and get to this part and just show you this here. This is the part that God gave to Abraham. But the sacrifice was when the angel of God appeared and came in and consumed these parts here. Yeah. You have to see that there. Now let's go back here, and I can stick this up here for a moment here. Because when you're done things, you got to go. Now, let me get the sacrifice here. And I'm going to explain this good today, because I don't have no pressure on it. Thank God. Now, I might have to take 2 parts to do this, but I'm going to explain